Howdy, folks. Welcome to my sweltering garage. We have a makeshift desk. It smells like a weed whacker, honestly, because it's hanging right there. And it's about 3,000 degrees in here. But it is toddler free. So that means we finally get to do an unboxing video. A while back, I put out a call for anyone who was just generous enough to donate so we could put together a bunch of trading card packages for our students at Spearfish High School Game Club. Not just the high school, but also for the middle school and basically anyone in the community. With COVID going on, man, kids are they're dying for interaction. And any way that we can get kids interested in social gaming, gaming that can be done with a friend, with a family member, in small groups, great. But more and more, I'm seeing a lot of people like myself who are doing webcam or phone-based playing games with each other online. Like physically grabbing their cards and jamming Magic Commander matches. You can take just your phone, put it on top of a box, enter whatever website or program folks are using, and then all of a sudden, bam, you're playing with people like you're sitting down together at the game store or the library. And I want to make sure that kids still have that we're still bringing new kids into the community, that we're still engaging kids of all ages. And I put out this call that says, hey, if anyone's willing to give us stuff, I'm going to put together a bunch of beginner bundles and packages, and I'm just going to hand them out to as many kids as I can. And I have here from 3 different groups the first set of unboxing. And that's right, I said first because there's even more coming. And I'm sorry it took so long for me to get to this, but, well, I'm in a sweltering garage because this is the only place we have peace and quiet these days. So, without further ado, here we go. So, round 1, this is from Onua Ryder, who is a member of the Santa Fe EDH gaming community. So I'm in Spearfish, South Dakota, and this came to us from a crew down in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So who says that Twitter doesn't do good things, right? Nice people just saying, hey, I want to donate. So I've never looked in any of these. This is just me going for it. Let's see what they sent. Okay. You get to see my lack of coordination, too, if I accidentally break things. I hope none of you put anything that I'll have to edit out, because I'm not that good at editing in these. So, let's find out. We got Amazon box full of, and just a pile. Oh, we got dice. We got individual packs. Oh, I was talking to Onu online, and they said that they actually put together decks for us, and that is perfect. You get not just a pile of cards, but sometimes if you get a established player who can put together just this janky pile that most people would consider just trash cards that they would never really use in a competitive setting, boy, when you get a new player and you hand them a deck of cards that has synergy in whatever game you're playing, but it has synergy because someone who knows how to play the game put it together. Those bulk cards that are worth pennies become absolute treasures to a new player because they are crushing their friends at the lunch table. It's great. So we got piles of cards, piles of cards. I think I see a couple of shinies. Shinies are always a good way to get kids hooked on the game. We've got various foils. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go through all of this, but we got a lot of very recent sets in here, and holy smokes for dice. You talk to any nerd, shiny Click Clack rocks, right? Every nerd who has ever played D&D, anyone who has played any number of games that involve the shiny Click Clack rocks. We've got we've got a bag for the dice that are kind to us, and we have the bag of shame for those who have rolled that natural one. So extra dice that we can give to new players to go with their stuff. I love that there was a pride band in here. So many of our kids who gravitate towards Game Club are LGBTQ plus, and they just look for that home where they can be happy, where they can be themselves. And something about gaming just says, hey, we're all here to have a good time. Be you. Everything else gets left at the door. And our high school game club actually partners a lot with GSA, our Gay Straight Alliance, a student organization. So this is going straight into the prize bucket for kids. That is awesome. A pile of rares and shiny planeswalkers. These are going to be really good for Oathbreaker decks. The people at the Weird Cards charity, Magic Kids, they set us up with a donation earlier this year where we were able to get a lot of kids going on Oathbreaker, which is a great, faster paced multiplayer format. Perfect for lunch and study hall, band room, whatever it may be. Oh man, we got just a pile of really just fun stuff. Like Clone Legion, okay? Clone Legion. You give this to a new player, they're in the middle of their first match, it's been grinding on forever, and they say, your board is now my board. Whoa! You see the light in their eyes, the maniacal laughter when they get to cast that first bomb spell. Thank you so much for these. This is going to be great. Sleeves. A lot of these cards, it's kind of a sin to have the unsleeved deck and, be pile shuffling. And boy, we get these in our prize buckets. And usually these are the first things that kids go after. Not the cards. They go for the peripheral items because they want to have their deck sleeved up and looking cool. And, riffle shuffle it. Not riffle shuffle, slider shuffle it. Just, it's one of those things that makes the game run a little bit smoother, and then people just, they get to start blinging out their decks, they get to express themselves through the deck building, so that is very good. Dice, sleeves, and the cards. Wow. I would like to go through the entire pile, but I'm just going to end up probably gushing about every single card in here and digging through them. Trying not to take that one choice card because, yeah, cardboard crack, right? Now that's my jam too. This is, wow. So the Santa Fe EDH community, thank you so much for this. Just piles and piles of cards, and these are all going to go into fat pack boxes for kids. I have to make sure to keep our rares separate here so that we know to put those separately, kind of piled into the individual boxes. Okay. You guys, you folks are amazing. Thank you so much for that. Next up, we have, I got to double check here. Okay, I had to double check here because I've got two giant, heavy, brick-like boxes from the same group of folks. These are from the TCGC, or Trading Card Game Collection YouTube channel. These folks put together a bunch of stuff, and I mean, listen to this. there's things like an anchor, and there's two of them. So they gave us a shout out in Reddit. They're sharing our stuff, just kind of spreading the word. Got to get one of those dice over there. And they sent us two different packages. So the fact that this barely got closed makes me kind of worried. I got to make sure I don't chop the whole thing to pieces here as I open it. You know what? Actually, I'm going to pause because this is going to be a little dangerous. All right, we're back. All Actually, I had to go take a drink. I said it's 85, 90 degrees in this garage. I don't even know what to make of this. We have just piles upon piles. All the cards. They're okay. It looks like it was actually organized in there. No, you can't see from the side there. They were organized. They were organized. But, you know, post office being what it is, man, these, I would love to shove some sort of sensor or a camera inside a box and just see the kind of journey these things go through. Got right away on the top, okay, Terror. Terror, one of the most iconic cards of all time. Just from the very beginning of Magic. Kill things. Or, you know, be the good guy, or play with dinosaurs, whatever it may be. We've got rares in here. We've got all kinds of dinos. Oh, man, dinos are a good way to get kids hooked, especially as you move from Pokemon over to Magic. You get a lot of kids who will get into Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! In elementary, middle school, and they move towards Magic as they get closer to high school. And dinos. Who doesn't like dinosaurs, right? So that's a really good way to get them moved over. We have... oh, just piles of tokens. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to show you all of this stuff because just piles upon piles of just all the cards. Oh, there we go. We got boxes. We got boxes. We got boxes. Okay. Oh, man, we've got basic lands. Okay, you can't play the game without lands. And I put out actually a call for, if we could, not just more basics, but more of these guys. Basic dual lands. These cost like 3 cents, 5 cents. But they teach kids about color fixing in the game, about making sure you have the correct mana requirements to play the deck that you want. You can't just put a bunch of, you know, gigantic, big, beefy dude over here that costs 7 mana. You can't have that in your deck and just a whole bunch of Whompers like that. You got to lead your way up to that. You got to ramp your resources up to that. You have to manage your resources. You have to be able to protect them, and those tap lands are a great way to get started. So we've got a whole bunch of basics in here. Looks like we have land packs. These are going to be land packs. These are going to be absolutely perfect to go into all of our beginner bundles that I'm going to be making, because they have a set amount of each color of card. Perfect for new players. Looks like we have, we have here a Saproling style black and green. My kids used to call it murder salad kind of deck, where I'm just going to keep making a bunch of fungus and stuff, and then I'm going to overwhelm you and stomp you. We've got a pre-made, pre-sleeved deck ready to go for a kid. We got more over here. Check this out. We have actual decks cooked up. We've got black-white zombies. We've got centaurs, artifacts and lands, mono-white soldiers. Just piles and piles. Got soldier token deck. We've got all the cards. This is box number 1. Can you... wow. Just beyond impressed with the generosity that people are showing here. Oh, we get different types of these tap lands where it says these are going to be great to introduce kids to Oathbreaker and Commander. Singleton formats, where you only get one of these in the entire deck. But you need to know how to manage those resources so that you can start to, so you can actually play the game. Sorry, I'm getting a little overwhelmed here. There's just cards everywhere. We've got more pre-sleeved and ready-to-rock decks. Looks like we've got more Mono White Weenies. Mono White Weenies is one of those really fun archetypes where you just keep putting out little dinky guy, little dinky guy, little dinky guy, and then you play the spell that says, "We are strong," and they all run over your opponent. It's great. Wow. And this is box number 1. Just these pre-made decks. This boxes and piles of commons and uncommons, cards that, enfranchise players will just leave at the table after a draft or a pre-release. If you put those together, I said that little bit of synergy from someone who's played the game before, and you hand that to a new player, these are going to be absolute treasures for kids. Wow. I'm going to pause and move all of this over here so we can go to box number 2. Oh, as I was trying to get all that off my desk, I'm going to have to organize it later. I saw just this pile of Thorn Elementals. A Thorn Elemental is one of those absolute Timmy cards that kids, for the first time, when they see this line of text on there, like, they can block your guy, but it's still going to hit them. Because why not? They're like, wait, they can't stop me? That evil gleam in the eye when they start to learn about interactions in the game. It's a critical thinking. It's a puzzle. It's this exercise of, I want to craft a way to not just beat you in this game, but I want to craft a way to have fun, to tell a story, to show my personality. And just that pile of Thorn Elementals. There's going to be a lot of kids happy about that. Ding, round 2. We're still with TCGC. I'll put links to all these very fine folks in with the description of this, because you definitely want to check them out. Anyone who's this generous, like, they deserve the like, the share, the follow, because that's why I love this community. We have piles and piles of basics, which I needed. We were running out of these. We were definitely running out of these. I actually saw right around now is when Jumpstart has not only come out, but the prices are starting to come down. And I saw one of the Phyrexian Swamps. Matt Morgan from EDH Repcast had tweeted out that they were going for like $27, $28 for a basic swamp. It's nuts. Wow. Okay. It looks like these were mostly organized. I'll try to get those put back together. And oh man, pre-sleeved and ready to go. Oh yeah, you hand this to a kid and say, all right, now just beat each other down. Are these all pre-made decks? I think they are. And I feel like that little kid on Christmas, because I'm just so excited seeing all this, and it's because I know that when it gets to the kids, they're just going to be floored. We've got Dominaria and Amonkhet. Dominaria was the very first plane of Magic, and they recently, last couple of years, went back there. So a lot of history, a lot of old terms. Kids get to learn about the story, because this game's been going for 27 years now. What do we have? Red, white, dwarf deck. Dwarfs. You take some kid who maybe has seen Snow White twice in their life because their parents made them watch it, because that movie's like 80 years old now, and then they find out, oh wait, dwarves can actually ankle shank people. This is gonna be great. We got bulk Ixalan, extra sleeves, more land. Wow. I said the generosity here is absolutely nuts. So this is TCGC, Trading Card Game Collection. You find them on YouTube. It's a family outfit, and I can just see mom, dad, and kids sitting down and just slapping together decks full of bulk, and probably had an absolute blast doing this, because that's what these tend to do, is they just bring people together. It's not about grinding out the tournament. It's not about getting the big prize. It's about just having fun. It's about, my giant dragon is about to eat your face, and you say, no, I'm just going to throw an arrow in his gut. And, well, you can't do that because I counter your spell. I'm smarter than you. This back and forth play. The game is what matters. And these pre-made decks are going to... The time and effort it took to put these together, maybe it just took an hour of digging through your box of cards at home to do this. But there's a lot of people who are just brewing together a deck. Even just a jank deck like this is just a thrill. And then that gets to be shared with someone else. So thank you so much for that. This is just... Oh, no. Don't do that. Bad decision. Okay. Almost dropped the whole pile. And then finally, we have... I don't know if he wants me to say his actual name on here, but Sir Proxy. Sir Proxy is a fellow that I found on Twitter who does these amazing proxies of cards, that usually for Commander, but the art style on them is really cool. It's like abstract, a lot of geometric shapes, different types of colors, and he'll use like album covers from old, like, what was one? I saw, was it like a Prophetic Prism or something that was redone in the style of Pink Floyd? Cyclonic Rift done with just these gorgeous concentric circles. His art is absolutely gorgeous. And I actually had a great side conversation with him about getting some of our budding artists from Game Club to, how do I get these kids exposed out there? How do I get them a little bang for their buck? One girl in particular, the tokens and proxies that she's made, just friends, are so adorable. The art style on them is just gorgeous. And how do we get these kids? How do we get them out there into the community, getting exposure for their work, connect them with other folks? Maybe get a little pocket change for them. Can they sell this? And he was really great about explaining to me kind of the legalities of proxies versus alters, and just really nice folks. And on top of that, sent us a whole bunch of cards. So we'll see what's in here. Now, what I don't want to do, I suppose I should probably stop wiggling a knife at a camera, right? For a high school Game Club video. What I don't want to do is accidentally cut my finger off in the middle of a video. I did that during class once. I'm not joking. The tip of this finger is missing. That's a story for another day. Okay. Oh, man. You can tell when someone is just as, has to be in the box organized as me, because it was a box full of boxes. These BCW boxes, they call them, it's the company who makes most of them. These are actually perfect for new players. Now, it's budget. You're never going to get your money's worth, but you can go on like Amazon or eBay and you can get a giant, 1,000, 2,000 box of cards like this, just packed to the gills for 10, 20 bucks. And it's perfect for new players, but check with your local game clubs, rec centers, game stores, and see if they just have bulk that they'll toss your way. But that's also a good way to get new kids to kind of expand their collection and start to learn how to brew on their own. So we've got 6 boxes ready to roll here, and piles of basics. Piles of basics, and ooh, we even got some unstable cards in there. Unstable is a really fun, any of the unsets. There's actually cards. Let's see if I can find one of these goofy things. Okay, so Eager Beaver. They made this mechanic where you can meld 2 creatures together. So you could take Serpentine. Serpentine is just, it says creature, but it's an adjective, right? And you'd take that and you would smash that together, and you would make a Serpentine Beaver. And it was just this doofiest mechanic ever that came with this joke set of cards, where Mark Rosewater, one of the main designers of the game, he says, I just want to have fun. I just want to do stupid things. And if I can make a half Hydra, half kitten, I'm going to do it. So there's Unstable in here. That's really cool. We got more of that Ixalan stuff. Newer sets. We got Theros. Greek mythology is always a great way to get kids interested in there because they know a lot of the characters and tropes. More basics that we can get kids set up to actually make their own. Oh, what is this? I've never seen this. Cards from like Tempest, things that I'm pretty sure that's from Tempest. I mean, things that I never played. I've only been playing for a handful of years. So these are just piles and piles of cards that kids can use to start building their collection and discovering their own love of the game. Oh man, just pile upon pile. We got Amonkhet. We've got just ancient. Okay. Thinhorn Brownie. Like, it's a snow creature. Type Brownie. The creature is actually called a Brownie. I didn't know that. These kids are going to see these and just giggle. And then some of the more powerful sets that you... Okay, Dark Ritual. Piles of Dark Rituals. These are cards that are banned in multiple formats because they're so good. Now, they've been, they've been around forever, printed into oblivion. These are cards that are worth pennies. But if they weren't banned in certain formats, these are cards that would also be wrecking house in gigantic big prize tournaments. So I think they still are. I'm not much of a Legacy player, but I mean, I'm seeing just this wonderful mix of just old school cards. Malevolent Awakening, Gaia's Blessing, just these old school cards, and then mixed in with it, Luminous Bonds, just from a core set a couple years ago. So the breadth of knowledge here of different card types and sets, this is perfect for getting new players in because everything is different, everything is new. There's the excitement of discovery when you're dealing with 27 years of the game's history. So just piles and piles of bulk cards that are going to be put to good use. Just more and more. Okay, so looks like we might have gotten a little bit generous. I'm starting to see piles of rares in here. Oh man, I'm going to have to go through all this off camera because I'm just going to start gushing about cards. Like Prodigal Sorcerer. Tim, the original Tim. I'm just going to start geeking out. I mean, this is already, a half hour of me geeking out. So I'm just going to real quick go through here, make sure if we have any... looks like we got one of those giant land packs. We've got stuff from Commander, 8th edition. Cards just all over the place. This is absolutely perfect. These are the kind of things where you can just shuffle these. You can toss them in a giant bucket and just wheel shake them like a giant bingo bin, and toss them into a box, hand them to a kid, and let them go nuts. This is perfect. Oh, there's an envelope. I got to be careful about reading said envelope because I'm extremely emotional these days. The quarantines affect us all. Oh, I mean, adventure cards from newest Eldraine. I mean, just such a varied collection of cards here. This is absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Just piles and piles and piles where we can get kids. I mean, indestructible aura. One of the goofiest arts ever done, too. It's like this bird, wizard, centipede. I think he's got fins on him, and then he's throwing up, like, you know, all hail Metallica. And you tell a kid, oh, by the way, they can't damage your thing now. Haha. Introduce them to combat tricks. Wow. I'm going to have to do this off. All right. I'm going to pause it. Yep. Definitely need to open up that off camera. Sir Proxy, a wonderful person who was very, very generous, and just a little bit of note for a person. It's amazing what that can do for someone's mental health these days. So I hope this isn't horribly annoying, just watching me open up boxes and gush about cards, but for those who were generous enough to send this to us, I figure they deserve at least a little something, even if it's just me yakking at my camera in a garage. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the generosity. Thank you for being wonderful members of this community, and for reminding us that no matter what else is going on, people can just be nice to each other for the sake of being nice. So you guys all rock. I'll make sure that these get put to good use. Thank you very much, and see you next time.